So he will be a neutral, the relationship. First one, Santa. Next one is Dasyaras. Dasyaras is one who serves Krishna wholeheartedly. He pleases Krishna in all possible ways. And the third rasa is Sakyabhav, which is a friendship. And fourth is Vatsalya, which is parenthood. And the last is the highest form of bhakti, who consider Lord as his lover. And then we had a quiz to find out who are in what rasa. Anyone want to try this time? Let's check your memory.
Dasya rasa, I think.
These are Santaras, four
Oh, Santras.
Kumaras.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, these Dasya
and
rasa.
Dasya. Yep,
Sakya rasa.
friendship. Yep,
Friendship. Like, yeah.
the same.
Madhurya.
No,
No, sorry. Vatsalya. I'm sorry.
Vatsal,
Vatsalya.
parenthood.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last one is
Last was
Madhurya.
Madhurya rasa. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And then we discussed about the different types of yogas, starting with Karma Kanda and Sakama. What is the difference between Sakama and Nishkama? Then one step ahead is Jnana, then Ashtanga. Then we saw the Bhakti Yoga is the final and foremost, which one is doing. And also we saw which is better, Nishkama or Jnana. It's like compared to the one you are seeing with the smoking and playing football, which is better. So then we concluded with you should do your duty and don't expect the fruits of action. And also don't consider that you are doing it, so you don't attach to your results. Just do your duty. Okay, do your duty and don't get attached to fruits. We should give our fruits to Krishna. We discussed why should we give our fruits to Krishna. That's where we discussed about couple of verses. Why should I give the fruits to Krishna? One from Bhagavad Gita and one from Bhagavatam. Okay, we discussed a lot about karma, karma, karma. So we discussed what is karma. So karma states like it's every action has a reaction, and whatever you do to others will later return to you. There are three types of karma. We went in depth on it. What is vikarma, karma, and akarma? So, in short, vikarma is you are breaking the laws of God, and karma is good work on material platform that gives you good reaction. Both vikarma and karma binds you, and one who which doesn't bind is akarma, which is devotional activity. Then we saw like Krishna promoting bhakti yoga in couple of verses. He is saying like only by devotional service one can reach God. This is one example, bhaktya mam abhijanati. And the next one is manmana bhava mat bhakto. We discussed about one incident where a person asked Srila Prabhupada, make me as a god. Srila Prabhupada said, I will make you better than him, that a devotee is better than God. You can see in this picture, if you look at eyes of Krishna and he is scared and he is running in fear, his mother is chasing with a stick in hand with for pure devotion and love. Krishna will surrender to that. So also we saw a comic meme that when we can worship Krishna, it's like these. We don't want to be one in these, whatever age they are busy. They don't have time to think about God. So we saw Lord bows down only for love and how we can do it, different types of worship we can do. And the final is Bhakti Yoga. If you want to come out of the cycle of birth and death, this is the cycle in the material world. If you do this, you will again born, sin, born again, go to hell, come back, give birth, do good deeds, go to heaven, come back. So this life, this is what it won't never end. And if you want to move out of it, go to the spiritual world, then do devotional service. That will end your loop and you will go back to Godhead. So, how to act in Bhakti Yoga or Krishna consciousness? We saw this zero as an example. With zeros, it don't have any value. And if we add one, we are surrendering our bowtail with Krishna, dovetail with Krishna. We will get a value to it. And we were discussing about this karma. What is it? I just got this picture. What goes around, it will come back to you. So it's pictorially, it represents like whatever action you are doing, it will come back to you. So that was our last session. Welcome you all again to the session number 10. We are here to discuss who is God, does he care, why should I care? We are continuing our discussion and with the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4. Before getting into the session, let's offer our prayers. It's like Chintan Prabhu put together the verses in the slide. So I recommend every one of you to unmute yourself and recite with me. You can see the slokas in the screen. It would be easier, won't be a tough one. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya
ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
Chakshurunmilitam
चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन
Yena
तस्मै
Tasmai Shri Gurave
श्रीगुरवे नमः
Namaha Shri Chaitanya
चैतन्यमनोभीष्टं
Manobishtam Stapitam
स्थापितं
Yena
येन भूतले
Bhutale Swayam
स्वयं रूपः
Rupa
कदा
Kadamayam
मह्यं
Dadati
ददाति
Swapadantikam
स्वपदान्तिकं
Vandeham Shri
वन्देऽहं
Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Gurun
श्रीगुरुं
Vaishnavamscha
वैष्णवंश्च
Shri
श्रीरूपं
Rupam
सग्रजटां
Sagrajatatam Sagana Raghunadatritam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam
सततं
Savadutam
सवधूतं
Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya
सहितं
Devam Shri Radha Krishna
कृष्णपादान्
Padan Sagana
सगना
Lalita Shri Vishantanvitam Cha
विष्णुविष्टंश्च
Namo Om Vishnu
ॐ
Padaya Krishna
विष्णुपदाय
Prastaya
कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय
Bhutale
श्रीमते
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti
भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति
Namine
नमस्ते
Namaste
सरस्वते
Saraswate
देवे
Gauravani Pracharine
गौरवाणी
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo
नमो
Mahavadanyaya Krishna
कृष्ण
Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurase
गौरकृषे
Namaha
नमः
He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhesya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri
श्रीकृष्ण
Krishna
चैतन्य
Chaitanya Prabhu
प्रभु
Nityananda
नित्यानन्द
Shri
श्री
Advaita
अद्वैत
Gadadhara Shri Vasari
श्रीवासादि
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
गौरभक्तवृन्द
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
So everybody having your book, Bhagavad Gita book with you?
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I maybe for the one who don't have the book, I will bring up the verses. So last week we saw till verse 4.3. Just make it little bigger. Okay. We are in verse 4.4. So why are we here in this verse? So we discussed about the different sections of Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna reveals himself in this. So we discussed about why we need to know about someone. Then if we want to know about someone, why? What is the best approach? It looks like a forward reasoning and the backward reasoning. Those two are the reasoning. We discussed that beginning of who is God discussion. And there we discuss like there are two ways we can see the nature. Yeah, sun is rising and it's setting on time. Moon is chill, cool, but sun is hot. And looking around the nature, and we are thinking, oh, someone should have created it. Then we believe in God. The next one is we believe in God, and then we are thinking that these things are because of that, and we are referring to the Vedas. So we can find about God by our own mental speculation or by revelation. Then we are seeing in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself telling about him. Who is he, when he will born, why he is descending, everything. So basically from 7 to 12, he discuss about himself, but he takes a detour here in the fourth chapter to discuss about like based on the questions of Arjuna, he is telling. So 4.4, let me recite it once, then we can, every one of us can go line by line. Arjuna Uvacha Aparam Bhavato Janma Param Janma Vivashvata Katham etat vinyanyam tvam adau proktavaniti. So if you want to unmute yourself, please recite with me. Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna
Arjuna
Uvacha
Uvacha,
Aparam Bhavato Janma
Aparam
Aparam
Bhavato Janma,
Param Janma Vivashvataha
Param Janma Vivasvataha,
Katham etat vinyanyam
Katham Etad Vijnanyam,
tvamadau proktavaniti.
Tamadau Proktavanidhi.
Anybody want to try?
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah, sure.
Arjuna Uvacha, Aparam Bhavato Janma, Param Janma Vivasvataha, Katham Etad Vijaniyam, Tvamadau Proktavaniti.
That's nice, Pradeep. Thank you. Anyone else? Purvi, I'm sorry, Pooja, Jatin, you wanna give it a try?
Yes, Shama. Arjuna Vacha Aparam Bhavato Janma Param Janma Vivashvata Katham Etad Vijaniyam Tvam Adau Proktavan Iti.
Thank you. That's wonderful.
I will also try. This is Jatin.
Sure.
Uh,
Sure.
Arjuna Vacha Apram Bhavto Janma Param Janma Vivastaha Katham Etad Vijnanyam Tvam Adeo Proktavan Iti.
Thank you, Jatin. Here, you can try this Vivasvataha. vivasvataha. Anybody wanna read word by word and translation?
Yeah, I'll read the you want me to read the synonyms, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna said, Aparam, junior, Bhavata, your, Janma, birth, Param, superior, Janma, birth, Vivasvataha, of the sun god, Katham, how, Etat, this, Vijaniyam, shall I understand, Tvam, you, Thou, in the beginning, Proktavan, instructed, Iti, thus.
So Arjuna said, the sun god Vivashvan is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed this science to him? So is this question, is it valid or not? They both are of same age, they are cousins. And what are you thinking? Like Arjuna's question, is it a good question or
Yeah, it's a good question.
good question? Let's see
I
in
think,
purport what. Mhm.
yeah, some of us will get this question, so maybe he's clarifying by asking it. Yeah,
You wanna read the purport, Pratik?
yeah, sure. Arjuna is an accepted devotee of the Lord, so how could he not believe Krishna's words? The fact is that Arjuna is not inquiring for himself, but for those who do not believe in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or for the demons who do not like the idea that Krishna should be accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For them, only Arjuna inquires on this point as if he were himself not aware of the personality of Godhead. Uh, or Krishna. As it is evident from the 10th chapter, Arjuna knew perfectly well that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the fountainhead of everything, and the last word in transcendence. Of course, Krishna also appeared as the son of Devaki on this earth. How Krishna remained the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, the eternal, original person, is very difficult for an ordinary man to understand. Therefore, to clarify this point, Arjuna put this question before Krishna so that he himself could speak authoritatively. That Krishna is the supreme authority is accepted by the whole world, not only present but from time immemorial. And the demons alone reject him. Anyway, since Krishna is the authority accepted by all, Arjuna put this question before him in order that Krishna would describe himself without being depicted by the demons, who always try to distort him in a very understandable to the demons and their followers. It is necessary that everyone, for his own interest, know the signs of Krishna. Therefore, when Krishna himself speaks about himself, it is auspicious for all the worlds. To the demons, such explanations by Krishna himself may appear to be strange because the demons always study Krishna from their own standpoint. But those who are devotees heartily welcomes the statements of Krishna when they are spoken by Krishna himself. The devotees will also always worship such authoritative statements of Krishna because they are always eager to know more and more about him. The theists who consider Krishna as an ordinary man may in this way come to know that Krishna is superhuman, that he is Satchidananda Vigraha, the eternal form of bliss and knowledge, that he is transcendental, and that he is above the domination of the modes of material nature and above the influence of time and space. A devotee of Krishna like Arjuna is undoubtedly above any misunderstanding of the transcendental position of Krishna. Arjuna's putting this question before the Lord is simply an attempt by the devotee to defy the atheistic attitude of persons who consider Krishna to be an ordinary human being, subject to the modes of material nature.
Yeah. You find the answer to that question. Why did Krishna ask this question? So he is not asking for himself. He is asking so Krishna can speak authoritatively. So as we said, people can understand Krishna from this forward or backward reasoning, that sun, moon, the nature example we saw. But for those who do not believe in God, for them, where they can find the answer? Here, Krishna is telling. In Katha Upanishad 2.2.13, it states, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yabidati Kaman. So there are so many references in everywhere, all the Vedas, that God exists and God takes care of everybody. But still, atheists won't believe that. So for those people, Krishna is answering here. And also, when someone asks that question, Krishna can authoritatively answer, I am so and so, I am everything. Here, Krishna speaks about himself as it is auspicious for all the three worlds, as Prabhupada mentioned in the purport. And also, Prabhupada mentioned about Satchit Ananda. So, as I stated in the Katha Upanishad, that verse, the meaning of Nityo Nityanam, it's Supreme Lord is eternal. We are also eternal. Nityo Nityanam. Nityo, eternal. The Supreme Lord is cognizant. We, being the living beings, are also cognizant. Then, what is the difference? If we are checking about the qualities, if we discuss about, like, say, example, Pooja and me, I'm also a woman and Pooja is also a woman. Pooja is a family, and I'm not sure, Pooja, whether you are married. I'm just saying whether you are
Yes,
married or,
Shama,
yeah, you're
I have
married.
a kid.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have a
So you are
5-year-old.
married, I am a married, you have a kid, I have a kid. Then what is the difference, right? Similarly, between Supreme Lord and human, we are like, we both are eternal, being Supreme Lord and living being, and Supreme Lord and living being are cognizant. What is the difference? Supreme Lord is supplying all necessities of life for other living entities, but we cannot supply that necessities for other living entities. That is the difference. So if Krishna clarify about himself, then it gives authority, so that person knows about very well. Say, I am not authoritative to talk about Pooja because I don't know about Pooja, whether she is married or not. I was like, whether maybe, may not be, but the person herself is authoritative to tell, I am married, I have a kid. So everyone over here can believe her words more than me. Similarly, Krishna's whatever he is answering is authoritative, and it is more auspicious, as because Krishna is talking that. So we saw about Satchit Ananda. It's like, what is that? We couldn't understand, or that put forward a question before us. What is that Satchit Ananda means? It's a simple example. You can see here. You can see flour, sour cream, baking soda, salt, oil, and sugar here. So anyone can give it a try. What are these? What we can make with these ingredients?
All together or individually? All together.
Ingredients you will use all together, right?
Mm.
Some kind of cake or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, you can make
Okay.
cake, pizza, donut, muffins, all sort of things you can make with this, or even
You can make pecan cookies.
yeah, cookies we can make with this. So if the shape and appearance and things might differ, a pizza will be like big, long, round. If I are making a cake, it would be like short, round, different thing. But the ingredients are the main factor here. Similarly, those Satchit Ananda are the main ingredients, are that constitutes Krishna. So Satchit Ananda Vigraha means such is eternal. Chit means knowledge. Ananda means bliss. So Sat, Krishna pervades all time and space. That's where he is eternal. Chit means Krishna is self-manifested. That is, and Ananda means Krishna is the abode of unalloyed love, Shuddha Prema. And Krishna's transcendental form is so densely composed of Satchit and Ananda that nothing else can touch it. So, what is the Satchit Ananda? It is transcendental and it is made of this three ingredients Satchit Ananda. If you take pizza, it's made of 5, 6 ingredients. Similarly, that ingredient, what it is made of, Krishna is made of this three Satchit Ananda. He is not like us. It's like I just put a funny thing here. What is our body made of? Like with respect to chemical analysis, made of these many chemicals percentage. Here this percentage and 62% water and protein. That's it. Our body constitute of. It's like uh, from the chemical perspective. And if we look into in depth what is our body is made of, our gross body here, whichever we are seeing, and next our subtle body, and inside it is soul. So then you can ask me, you said nityo nityona, you both are eternal. Then here you are saying gross body, subtle body, and Krishna is Sachit Ananda. If it's little confusing, Krishna is Sachit Ananda, which means, as we saw, it's eternal knowledge and bliss. We are, I'm sorry, I went back. We are Asat, Achit, and Nirananda, which means opposite to that, Asat, the conditioned soul exists in a temporary position. That is, we, the conditioned souls, and we are in ignorance and we are devoid of bliss. Those three things which we are discussed about Krishna, it's he is eternal, knowledgeable, and he is totally of bliss, and he is densely composed of those three. But if you take us, we are Asat, Achit, and Nirananda, which is we are temporary in this world, the conditioned soul, and we are ignorant and we are devoid of bliss totally. So that's where,
Shama,
yep,
so in that previous slide, is it that the five elements correspond to the gross body and the mind, etc., is the subtle body? Do you have to interpret it like that?
yes.
Okay.
So
So the
the
mind,
gross body which you
intelligence.
are seeing, yeah, the gross
Mhm.
body you are seeing, it's that outside what you are seeing, our body.
Okay.
Next goes our subtle body, which is mind, intelligence, and ego. Our gross body is made of, as I shown in the previous picture, chemicals, which is made of
Mhm.
this earth, water, the Panchapudas. Subtle body is mind, intelligence, and ego.
Mhm.
After that, the one level inside is exist our soul.
Okay. Okay. So you have to cross all these to realize the soul. Is that what it
So,
says?
yeah, you need
Okay.
to awaken that sleeping soul.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And also here, why is this given to Arjuna? We discussed because Arjuna is a good student. So what is the quality of a student? Here, Arjuna surrendered himself thoroughly to Krishna. Where he surrenders, let us see. Same Bhagavad Gita. Okay. In chapter 2, verse 7, Arjuna is saying this verse. Karpanya dosho upahata swabhava prachami tvam dharma sammuda cheta yachreyasha nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham sadimam tvam prapannam. Is saying here, now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrender unto you. Please instruct me. So, in the first chapter, Arjuna was talking to Krishna in a friendly manner. He considered him like, no, I cannot do it. As a friend, like he was arguing. Here in this second chapter, he is accepting Krishna as his guru. He is surrendering. I am your disciple. Please tell me what I should do. What is good for me? So, that is one of the qualities of a good student. Can you tell me, like, any guess what are the good qualities of a good student you can think of? Where is my slide?
Be open-minded.
Okay.
Listen to the teacher.
Yes.
Okay. Listen to the teacher.
I think some amount of unlearning will be needed. Like whatever you are conditioned with, you have to let go of that and then be like, then the next steps will follow. So unlearning.
Yeah, I have put together some points here. Let's see. Accept one as a teacher or spiritual master. You should be humble and submissive. You should be attentive. Ask question with a mood to learn, not to challenge. Many times we have seen like we already know the answer, but we'll ask this question just to test whether the other person know the answer or not. Let me see to what extent that person know the answer. In that challenging mode, we shouldn't ask the question. Our mood should be always to learn things, and we should scrutinizingly study the content given by the teacher, and we should act in such a way that the teacher or spiritual master name is glorified. So do you think Arjuna has these qualities in himself? He surrendered with mood of a disciple. He's telling, I don't know anything. Actually, there was a funny example given, like one person goes to a computer center and tell him that I don't know anything about Java. Can you teach me? And what is the course fee? The teacher would tell him like 5,000 for this Java course. And another person same, this guy will come and tell to his friend, I don't know anything in Java. So I went there and that guy accepted me with the fees is less 5,000 rupees. You can also give it a try. So his friend was like 5,000, it's too much. So he might think that, wow, it is too much. Okay, let me practice something. He would buy a book. He Google for a few days, learn a little bit about data structure, what are the different loops, and then goes there to the same computer class, goes to the same staff teacher and tells that, I know Java, I know data types, I know loops, but I don't know that advanced concept. Can you teach me? So that staff will tell like, okay, pay me 1,000, I'm sorry, 10,000 rupees and you can join from tomorrow. And for the first person, it will be like 1 hour per day. For the second person who already learned Java, it would be 2 hours per day, and fees is also like more. It's like to the point which Pooja mentioned, we should go in a mode of I don't know things. And here you should go in a mode to learn things. Why that second person fees and time is more? He got puzzled and he asked the teacher like why. So the teacher told him like, first I need to erase whatever you learned. I don't know whether you learned it correctly or not. So if I'm teaching correctly to you, you will have a doubt that whether this person is telling correct or not. So you can't agree to whatever I say. So that will put you in a confusion. You won't be 100% with me, whatever I'm saying. Always you will think that, oh, I learned in that book like that. This person is telling like this. Which one is correct? So I need to explain you more and erase whatever you learned and then make you comfortable. That's where I need more hour and more money for you. So we should go to the teacher in a humble and submissive way and be very attentive to learn things, to be in a mood that I don't know things. Whatever you teach you, I agree in that. In same fourth chapter, there is a verse stating how one should approach the spiritual master. Let's see that. Psalm 434. तत्प्रति प्राणिपातेन प्ररिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः. Meaning is, just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively and render service to him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So I'd like to tell a story here. I think I told about this. If you remember, then stop me there. I think I told about a frog story earlier, when, if my memory is right. Anyone remember about this frog example, a frog story?
Can you tell a little more? This frog. I don't.
A frog, a frog was living in a well,
Oh yeah, that one you know. Like
right? Of this size of
the
well it is. A frog was living there, and the ocean frog came into that well by some flood. So this old resident of the well, that well frog, we will name that as ABC frog, is asking the newcomer, where have you come from? This ocean frog told, like, I came from ocean. So this well frog couldn't understand what is ocean, because in his life he never seen an ocean. So he is asking the ocean frog, ocean is 10 times of this? Ocean frog, 10 times would be this much, right? No. Is it 100 times this much? No. 1,000 times? No. So this well frog got a doubt. No, you are liar. You are lying. I cannot believe. How come an ocean is 1,000 times bigger than a well? I cannot believe. How much it would be? No, 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 I cannot believe you. So our teachers or spiritual master are like that. They already realized the transcendental knowledge. We have only this much knowledge. But if we think that we know everything, whatever we know, that is correct, then we cannot perceive the things which the self-realized one teaching us. Here, when this qualities of a good student we are discussing, there are a lot of Mayavadis or impersonalist philosophies are all over. So what is this Mayavadis or impersonalist? They will think that Aham Brahmasmi, which means I am God. Say they won't believe that Krishna is God or Krishna has a form. As because Krishna descended into the earth, they will say that Krishna is also conditioned soul like me, like I am. Uh, I guess you know about Dr. Radhakrishnan. He is a former president. He wrote a commentary on Bhagavad Gita. He wrote everything very nicely. And finally, at last, he mentioned, we are not surrendering to Krishna, we surrender to a person inside Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada criticized about this concept of Dr. Radhakrishna. This Mayavadi philosophy is widespread. It's like one time a devotee went to a barber shop, and in the barber shop, in the mirror, in front of it, he saw a person picture with long beards and matty hair. So this guy asked, like, oh, he looks nice. Who is he? The barber, the salon wala said, he's my guru. So this devotee is like, Oh, nice. That's nice to know. Can you tell more about your guru? You follow him? How long? Those sort of discussion went. And then this devotee asked, like, so what did your guru ask you to do? The barber said, well, my guru asked me to meditate on myself. Meditate on what? I couldn't hear properly. Bhargavad said, meditate on myself. What is mean by that? So I am a god, Aham Brahmasmi. So my guru told me to meditate on myself because I am the god. So this guy asked, the devotee asked, like, if you are God, why are you having such a hard life? Why are you like working like this in a small village, in a small shop? Then the barber said, this is my Leela. Everyone here in this world are performing their own Leelas. The point I'm trying to make here is similar to this, Aham Brahmasmi, I am God. This impersonalism is deeply penetrated everywhere. That's where one should read Bhagavad Gita carefully, try to understand what Krishna is trying to tell and how much revelation Krishna is doing for us to understand who is he, what he is trying to say. We should understand that from our guru, our spiritual master in a disciplic succession. Then we will be in a divine nature. If not, then we will be like that atheist or Mayavadis to say, Krishna is not God, I myself is God. So why to keep his picture? I can see myself in the mirror and do puja for me in that way. So we saw also in the purport about divine and demonic, atheist and theist. Let's see a quick difference between what is the demonic behavior and what is the divine behavior as such. So divine behavior is obeys God's law and demonic is a rebels against God. What is that? If God is giving in his like, don't kill unnecessarily, don't be violent, and whoever is divine, they will follow. Whoever is demonic is like, everything is for me, so I can kill and eat. Why did God created this all living beings just for my pleasure? I just wanna cook and eat. So they are going against or rebels against God laws. Divine are the one, it's like selfless service to God and his children. Demonic, selfishly concerned about his one's own gratification alone. They won't care about others. They will hurt others just for their pleasure. And divine is whatever I possess is God's gift. I am grateful. Demonic nature is everything I possess is earned by my own ability, own skill, and hard work. There is no other person involvement is there. If you remember, we discussed about what are the 5 factors which decide on one person action. So in that only I is one fifth of that is I concept. There are 4 other concept in every action. So divine is think before acting. Demonic is whatever what may come, let's do it. Divine is follow advice of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Demonic is I do what I like. I don't care for anyone. No one can control me. Whatever gives me pleasure, I will do it. This world is there for my enjoyment. Divine is eternal life of bliss, knowledge, and service to God is my goal. Demonic, immediate pleasure are my goal. That is Ashuric or demonic nature. I'll take a pass. If you have any question, we will discuss. Let's move on to the next verse. Any questions here? Okay. So for the question which Arjuna asked, how can I know that you already exist? You told to Vishwan. So Krishna is giving the answer to Arjuna's question as we discussed. It's authoritatively. And Krishna is speaking, it's auspicious for all the world. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni me vyatittani janmani tava charjuna tani aham veda sarvani na tvam veda parantapa. Anyone want to read the translation?
I will read. The personality of Godhead said, many, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. O subduer of the enemy.
Yeah, Krishna is telling we both super soul and the soul crossed many births, but super soul remember everything. We couldn't remember anything. In Brahma Samhita 5.33, we have information of many incarnations. It's so awesome, wonderful prayer we can sing. Advaitam achyudam anadim anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Nava Yavvanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabam Madurlabam Atma Bhaktau Govindamadi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. Anyone want to read the meaning of the prayer?
I'll read it.
Sure.
I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda Krishna, who is the original person, absolute, infallible, without beginning. Although expanded into unlimited forms, he is still the same original, the oldest, and the person always appearing as a fresh youth. Such eternal, blissful, all knowing forms of the Lord are usually not understood by even the best Vedic scholars, but they are always manifest to pure, unalloyed devotees. It is also stated in Brahma Samhita.
5.39. I'll just sing it, Puja. You can sing with me if you want to. Ramadimurtishu kala niyamena tishtan Nanavataram bhavaneshu kintu Krishna swayam samabhavat paramakumanyo Govindamadi purusham tam aham bhajami. You wanna continue reading?
Yes. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda Krishna, who is always situated in various incarnations such as Rama, Narsimha, and many sub incarnations as well, but who is the original personality of Godhead known as Krishna and who incarnates personally also. In the Vedas also, it is said that the Lord, although one without a second, manifests himself in innumerable forms. He is like the Vaid- Vaidurya stone, which changes color, yet still remains one. All those multi-forms are understood by the pure, unalloyed devotees, but not by a simple study of the Vedas. I can't
Are you
see
able
it,
to see
Shama.
it? Yep, I'm sorry.
No.
That's what I was seeing where that it went.
Okay.
Where Vidaria stone from here remains one.
Yeah, all
Are
those
you able to see now? Yep.
multiforms. Yes, yeah. All those multiforms are understood by the pure, unalloyed devotees, but not by a simple study of the Vedas. Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhaktau. Devotees like Arjuna are constant companions of the Lord, and whenever the Lord incarnates, the associate devotees also incarnate in order to serve the Lord in different capacities. Arjuna is one of these devotees. And in this verse, it is understood that some millions of years ago, when Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to the sun god Vivashvan, Arjuna in a different capacity was also present. But the difference between the Lord and Arjuna is that the Lord remembered the incident, whereas Arjuna could not remember. That is the difference between the part and parcel living entity and the Supreme Lord. Although Arjuna is addressed herein as the mighty hero who could subdue the enemies, he is unable to recall what had happened in his various past births. Therefore, a living entity, however great he may be in the material estimation, can never equal the supreme Lord. Anyone who is a constant companion of the Lord is certainly a liberated person, but he cannot be equal to the Lord. The Lord is described in the Brahma Samhita as infallible, Achyuta, which means that he never forgets himself, even though he is in material contact. Therefore, the Lord and the living entity can never be equal in all respects, even if the living entity is as liberated as Arjuna. Although Arjuna is a devotee of the Lord, he sometimes forgets the nature of the Lord, but by the divine grace, a devotee can at once understand the infallible condition of the Lord, whereas a non devotee or a demon cannot understand this transcendental nature. Consequently, these descriptions in the Gita cannot be understood by demonic brains. Krishna remembered acts which were performed by him millions of years before, but Arjuna could not, despite the fact that both Krishna and Arjuna are eternal in nature. We may also note herein that a living entity forgets everything due to his change of body, but the Lord remembers because he does not change his Satchidananda body. He is Advaita, which means there is no distinction between his body and himself. Everything in relation to him is spirit, whereas the conditioned soul is different from his material body. And because the Lord's body and self are identical, his position is always different from that of the ordinary living entity, even when he descends to the material platform. The demons cannot adjust themselves to this transcendental nature of the Lord, which the Lord himself explains in the following verse.
Thank you. So as it's mentioned here, we discussed about the divine and demonic. So as divine can able to trust whatever Krishna is saying, demonic, they can't digest and understand and agree that, yeah, God exists. And also it is mentioned like devotees like Arjuna are constant companion of the Lord. We read it little before in the first paragraph. Yep. Devotees like Arjuna are constant companion, which means what? I'll show you a picture. So wherever Modi goes, he will go with his team. His entourage goes with him. So we can also see like when there is like a sudden change in the management and a new lead, a new VP come into our team, we can notice in few days, whoever is his best buddies, he will bring his team into the current position. So we will used to say like he is having these folks are his favorite. Similarly, wherever a big lead goes, a president goes, a prime minister goes, his entourage will also goes with him. Similarly, Arjuna is one of the favorite or entourage of Lord Krishna. He goes with him whenever Krishna appears because he is in the platform of Nitya Siddha. Then how come Arjuna forgot even though in that Nitya Siddha platform? Because Arjuna is a conditioned soul and he is taking a different body. So whenever the conditioned soul leaves, I'm sorry, Arjuna is not conditioned soul, he is a Nitya Siddha. Conditioned soul is Nitya Bandha. As we change the body, we will forget, the conditioned soul forget. Though Arjuna is not conditioned, his capacity or his limit to is in a certain extent that he couldn't remember what happened million years ago. Even if you ask me, hey Shyama, what you did uh, 2 days back at this time, I may not sure what I did just before 2 days. I forget about 2 days. If you ask me by morning 11 o'clock what I did, I might not be sure. Like maybe I might be cooking, I might not sure what I did. But Krishna remembers, his capacity is that he can remember whatever happened before million of years ago also. But Arjuna is in a different capacity by that time where he can't remember, he couldn't remember. That's where Krishna is telling, you were in a different capacity. We both were present at the same time. I remember everything, but you don't remember things. We saw about the Brahma Samhita prayer, right? So this is the word by word meaning for each of this. It's Advaitam, means without a second. He is the primeval one and only. Achudam, without decay. Anadim, without a beginning. Anantarupam, whose form is endless or who possesses unlimited forms. Adyam, the beginning. Purana Purusham, the most ancient person. Nava Evanam, always youthful. Though it's like, isn't it contradictory? Like, he is the most ancient person, the oldest, he is the first person, but he looks always youthful. That is God. Atma Bhaktav, through pure devotion of the soul. Govindam, Govinda, Adi Purusham, he is the original person. So these are the characteristics of Krishna, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He don't have a beginning or he don't have an end. He is present always and he possesses unlimited forms. So that's where Krishna is saying, we both present, but I remember, but you are not remembering that. Any question? I will take a pass here. If not, we will move to the next verse. अजोऽपि सन्नव्ययात्मा भूतानामीश्वरोऽपि सन् प्रकृतिं स्वामधिष्ठाय सम्भवामि आत्ममायया. Anyone wanna give it a try? Prateek, Pooja, Jatin.
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah.
Ajopi san avyayatma bhutanam ishvaro pisan praktim swam adhishtaya sambhavami atma mayaya.
Mayaya. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'll try, Shama.
Sure.
Ajopi san avyatyama bhutanamishvaropi san prakritim swam adhisthaya sambhavami atma mayaya.
Atma Mayaya.
Atma mayaya. Okay.
Yeah. This one is
Mayaya.
Dirgha.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Mayaya. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think if you keep the Sanskrit version or the Hindi
Oh,
Marathi
it's
version
here.
also, yeah, then it
Mhm.
becomes easy to read.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know this, so I was like directly put it here. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, with this, when you keep the English, obviously, I'll be able to read English only, but
Easier.
then sometimes you can just refer that
Cross
Maya, yeah, no?
verify.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
right.
I don't know what is this, anything about this. So I'm sorry about it. Okay. Let's see what Krishna is telling. So the translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. This is what the meaning of each word from Brahma Samhita we saw. That's the prayer of Brahma towards Krishna, and Krishna himself telling what is his nature. Purport. The Lord has spoken about the peculiarity of his birth. Although he may appear like an ordinary person, he remembers everything of his many, many past births, whereas a common man cannot remember what he has done even a few hours before. If someone is asked what he did exactly at the same time one day earlier, it would be very difficult for a common man to answer immediately. He would surely have to dredge his memory to recall what he was doing exactly at the same time one day before. And yet, men often dare claim to be God or Krishna. One should not be misled by such meaningless claims. Then again, the Lord explains his Prakriti or his form. Prakriti means nature as well as Swarupa or one's own form. The Lord says that he appeared in his own body. He does not change his body as the common living entity changes from one body to another. The conditioned soul may have one kind of body in the present birth, but he has a different body in the next birth. In this material world, the living entity has no fixed body but transmigrates from one body to another. The Lord, however, does not do so. Whenever he appears, he does so in the same original body by his internal potency. In other words, Krishna appears in this material world in his original eternal form with the two hands holding a flute. He appears exactly in his eternal body, uncontaminated by the material world. Although he appears in the same transcendental body and is Lord of the universe, it still appears that he takes birth like an ordinary living entity. And although his body does not deteriorate like a material body, it still appears that Lord Krishna grows from childhood to boyhood and from boyhood to youth. But astonishingly enough, he never ages beyond youth. At the time of Battle of Kurukshetra, he had many grandchildren at home, or in other words, he had sufficiently aged by material calculation. Still, he looked just like a young man, 20 or 25 years old. We never see a picture of Krishna in old age because he never grows old like us. Although he is the oldest person in the whole creation, past, present, and future. Neither his body nor his intelligence even ever deteriorates or changes. Therefore, it is clear that in spite of his being in the material world, he is the same unborn, eternal form of bliss and knowledge, changeless in his transcendental body and intelligence. So, as we discussed in the previous verse itself, how he remembers and why we cannot remember. It's like we are conditioned. As I told an example of myself remembering the morning, whatever I did, the condition being cannot remember because our memory is like that. But Krishna himself saying what are his nature, and as this Advaitam Achudam, the Samhita verse states, he is the oldest person, but he is still the young. His body never grows older. Even though he is in the material world, he is not conditioned by the three modes of material nature. He is uncontaminated by the modes of nature, or we can say this modes of nature can't act on Krishna. And although he is getting older, by age the number increases, but his looks always like a young youth, a young of 20 to 25 years old person. He never grows old, as like no one can able to see Krishna with this long beard or grayed hair, old picture. Similarly, his body, as we discussed here, we change our body. We can say like our cell in our body changes each and every second. But Krishna comes with the same body whenever he appears, with the same body, with the flute, with the two hands, the Pitambara, Krishna. But our body changes every second now, And once we give up this body, once we leave this body, we don't know what body or what birth we gonna take again. We don't have any control over that. Anybody wanna continue reading?
Yeah, sure. Factually, his appearance and disappearance are like the sun's rising, moving before us, and then disappearing from our eyesight. When the sun is out of sight, we think that the sun has set. And when the sun is before our eyes, we think that the sun is on the horizon. Actually, the sun is always in its fixed position, but owing to our defective, insufficient senses, we calculate the appearance and disappearance are completely different. We calculate the appearance and disappearance of the sun in the sky. And because Lord Krishna's appearance and disappearance are completely different from that of any ordinary common living entity, it is evident that he is eternal, blissful knowledge by his internal potency, and he is never contaminated by material nature. The Vedas also confirm that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unborn, yet he still appears to take his birth in multi manifestations. The Vedic supplementary literatures also confirm that even though the Lord appears to be taking his birth, he is still without change of body. In the Bhagavatam, he appears before his mother as Narayana with 4 hands and the decorations of the 6 hands of full opulences. His appearance in his original eternal form is his causeless mercy bestowed upon the living entities so that they can concentrate on the Supreme Lord as he is and not on mental concoctions or imaginations, which the impersonalist wrongly thinks the Lord's form to be. The word Maya or Atma Maya refers to the Lord's causeless mercy, according to the Vishvakosha dictionary. The Lord is conscious of all his previous appearances and disappearances, but a common living entity forgets everything about his past body as soon as he gets another body. He is the Lord of all living entities because he performs wonderful and superhuman activities while he is on his earth. Therefore, the Lord is always the same absolute truth and is without differentiation between his form and self or between his equality and body. A question may now be raised as to why the Lord appears and disappears in this world. This is explained in the next verse.
Thank you, Pratik, for reading it so nicely. As it's we discussed all these points with an example of Brahma Samhita prayers and Krishna himself telling about the nature, how he is, and his Nama Rupa Guna Leela is one and the same. That's his form, name, quality, everything is Rupas, everything is one and the same. And he is eternal. The Satchit Ananda feature we discussed. So let's quickly recap what we discussed. Okay. So we discussed about the verse 4.4 based on the questions Krishna asked. Is it valid? Why did he ask? And we discussed on what made Arjuna to ask this question to make Krishna tell about himself in an authoritatively auspicious way. And we discussed about the Satchit Ananda, what are this means, and also our material condition body, what is that made of? That is Asat, Achit, and Ananda. And what are the qualities to be a good student? We discussed about 2 more verses. This 2.7 and 4.34. How one should approach a spiritual master and why Arjuna is a good student. Basically with these qualities. And then we discussed about divine and demonic nature. And we moved to 4.5. We discussed about the entourage. Then why Arjuna forgot, because his capacity was like that. And then we discussed about the word by word meaning of Krishna's nature from the Brahma Samhita verse. And we discussed about this 4.6, which says pretty much the same Krishna is saying about his nature. And he is telling himself as transcendental and he is without a beginning. He is an ancient person, but he is still appear to be youthful. So I'll stop here. If you have any questions, we can discuss. And
Uh,
yesterday a question came. Yep.
I have a question. So,
Mhm.
this verse that we just studied tells that Lord Krishna appears in every millennium, correct? Is that
Mhm.
millennium means every yuga? Or
We saw that in our previous class, right? One day of Brahma.
yeah. So he appears
Krishna
every one
appears.
day of
Every
Brahma.
yuga he will. Yeah, one day consists of 4 yugas. So every yuga. And also it doesn't that
No, my question is he'll appear every day of Brahma or every yuga of Brahma? No, every
every
yuga.
day of Brahma.
So which mean,
Every day of Brahma consists of 4 yugas.
oh yeah, for you.
So
Okay.
every yuga he will appear. And also it is not necessary that he should appear only in one time in yuga. If needed, he can appear on his own will.
Okay.
Okay. So yesterday one question was how is the progress stages of bhakti? You might notice a picture, this picture posted in the group. So I thought of telling it so you won't miss that part. These are the 9 progressive stages of bhakti. As you can see, Shraddha, the faith. One should have the strong faith in Krishna. That is the first stage. If one develops that strong faith, then they will associate more with the devotees, with the like minded people. Then they will start chanting. So, slowly, when they start to chant, their offenses or anartha nivritti takes place, the cleaning of heart takes place. And once the cleaning of heart, which means what? If you notice, like, say, your kitchen stove, you are cooking, and you are never clean it, it would be like so much oily, blacky, and it would have so much dirt in it. And first day, if you just take a tissue paper and scrub it, nothing will come out. If you scrub more, slowly the dirt start to come out. Similarly, if you chant more, the dirt will go away and heart will start to become clean. And over period of chanting again and again, it's like cleaning the mirror, which is full of dirt, or you can say your stuff. One day, if you start to clean, one day it will become like bright without any dirt. When that stage happen, then you will get the firm faith. You will fixed in Krishna. Then you will get the taste. Nobody wants to say like, "Hey, have you chanted? Have you want to hear it?" You will get the taste automatically. That is the ruchi. Then you will get the ashakti or attachment that develops bhava. The last stage is prema, the love of Godhead. That would be the last stage in the progress of um, bhakti, the last stage. And these verses are very nice and which gives us, I'm sorry, more details about who is God, all this fourth chapter, first 6 verse, which we discussed. I hope you remember by now what are the verses we studied or we discussed. Sorry, I'm just getting it. If possible, you can memorize the verse 1 to 6. Here, Krishna said, I told this to everybody. This is on disciplic succession. This is a secret. I revealed it to my friend. And these 3 verses we discussed today. If you feel this is tough to memorize, maybe it is 4.3. This secret knowledge is shared to whom and why is he remembers and he don't remembers? What is his nature? If possible, try to memorize and we can try to recite next week. If it is tough, try to memorize third and sixth. So if anyone questioning you in your office, in your friends, your family, who is God, why he appeared, and what is disciplic succession, why we need Guru, then you can prove it with authoritative notes from or verse from Bhagavad Gita. You don't want to think like, oh, wait a minute, I know this answer. Wait a minute, I heard it, but I couldn't. Oh, it comes in Bhagavad Gita. I think, my God, I don't know what it is. You don't want to struggle. You can authoritatively say, yes, this is what it is in chapter 4, verse 3 or verse 6. You can authoritatively tell to anybody. And there is one announcement. Next week, we don't have a regular discussion like the session 11 on who is God. This auspicious month of Kartik is starting. So we are having a combined class next week, Sunday, where a guest speaker will be giving a wonderful pastime about Krishna. It's not like our regular discussion and so deep into philosophy. It would be like so much a lovable story. And whoever going to come to discuss, he is a wonderful storyteller. You might get impressed by the way he is telling and inspire more. So if you want to invite your friends, your family, your kid, whoever asks, or whoever you know, whoever has time for 1 hour they can spend, please ask them, invite them just one day, and they will get inspired by him. I am sure about it. And you all will also love the way he is telling how he practices bhakti, and that's inspire everyone. Chintan, if you want to add anything, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think thank you for that. You covered.
We
Yeah,
couldn't
please.
hear you.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Yeah. I'm saying, yeah, you covered most of the stuff. Tomorrow, yeah, next week, we have a very special guest. He's one of my personal favorites. He's a master storyteller. And the topic is not going to be in continuation to what we are discussing, but it is going to be a new topic. But it is again a revelation about God. So, and it is more
So
of a
you are going to
pastime.
reveal the topic now or no?
No, it's a it's a secret. So if you
Uh,
join,
What timing is it? Is it the same 4 to 5
Is
or
same time. Yeah. So we
and is it
okay?
combine
Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday 4 to 5:30.
Okay, 4 to
So
5:30.
the thing is, your kids can also come. Like Pooja also has a question about kid, how to explain. So we can come back to that. But uh, any of your friends also who have not attended any single class, they can also come. It's going to be all inclusive class. Anyone can understand it easily. Yeah. Thank you.
So now I'm more curious. I can't wait to know about the topic. You can tell as we can. I will stop the past the recording. You can tell just as what's the topic. So
It's a big revelation about Krishna, how to capture him. And the hint is you showed one picture, right? So it is going to be based on that.
so it's a quiz time for everybody. What picture is that?
The last picture, probably.
She showed a picture of Mother Yashoda chasing Krishna, right? So we'll go to
Oh,
flashback of that. What happened that she had to run behind Krishna like that? That picture
Nice.
will transform into a class, entire class. So today was consider it as a trailer.
Nice. Okay. Thank you,
There's a
Chintan,
question.
for giving it
There's
out.
a
Yeah.
question by Pooja. Maybe you can take it.
So Pooja, for 5 to 6 years, if you explain super soul, that concept, it would be too much for the kid to understand. You can say God is your friend. He's always within you, watching you. he is your best friend. You can reveal whatever you want to reveal to him, and he will be there to protect you. And kids usually get scared and fearful. You can tell them you don't want to fear. Always Krishna is with you, inside you, and watching you, and he is our best friend, and he is your well wisher. He loves you more. And we are having kids classes. Like I have the class like starting 6:15, 6 o'clock, where all the kids are 5 to 6. We are slowly introducing who is God, how we need to pray, why we need to pray. If you'd like, you can send your kid to the class. Pradeep's kid, Bhuvi, also attending the class. It's like slowly we can introduce them the faith in them, so they won't get deviate or they will get attached to it. It's like it's not like one word, one line, one paragraph answer to tell them. The practice should be with them for a while. Then if they get that strong faith, they won't move out of it, and they will learn more compared to us. And you can notice soon, your kid will start to explain you who is God, what you should do, how you should pray. I hope Prateep will have the same experience. You can tell Prateep.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I would say like at 5 year, 6 year old, at least in my daughter case, I just started telling that God is superhuman. That's the only thing I told. And like he had so many powers, he can always be with us, he'll be seeing with us. And then slowly I started this mantra meditation, how to pray, all that stuff, and slowly. So I think eventually she'll get there. Like you can't directly tell her so many things. I think we should slowly start with that God is superhuman and He is always there to help us.
You
And
can
we should, with
introduce
God,
the small
yeah.
stories during the bedtime stories. You can tell about God. It's like God is not someone to be fearful or you should be scared of.
Yeah, when he
Yeah,
asked
that's
me,
good.
I said it's like the power which makes the sun rise, or like
Yeah.
at their level, like something which they can relate to. Or my husband said, like God is in you and me, He's in everyone. So
Mm-hmm.
things like this we came up with, but I wasn't prepared for any further questions that would come. Like typically they'll not stop at one or two questions, right?
That's true.
Yeah, so that's why I thought maybe I need to speed up and gear up and think ahead, and okay, what are the possible questions that can come in his mind, and at his
Mm-hmm.
level, like what can be some satisfactory answers, but at the same time I don't want to give him some gyan which is not true, right? So I want to
Yeah.
convey the right thing to him, so that is the reason I put it up here. I mean,
Mm-hmm. My son will ask like if he is powerful, can he give anything? I say like yes, but you should have that desire, desperate desire, how you are asking, then God will give. So he'll like, okay, then from today I will start praying. So he will also tell, I prayed to God this. Let's see whether God is giving me that or not. So
oh,
handle it
okay.
in a way, right? He'll ask me like, I prayed this. And after 2, 3 days, he will come and say, like, I prayed. You said God has all powers, but it didn't work out. So prepare to
Oh,
face those questions as well. I used to tell him like
okay.
how much endeavor you are putting forward, that matters. And it is not like you go to that nearby shop, give $1 and get a chips packet. That should have a long-term relationship. I used to tell him like as soon he moved to a new school now, as soon as you went to the school, you won't be having any friends. Slowly you will know someone, and that best friendship will happen in over a period of time. Then only you will tell your secrets, right? Then you'll say like yes. So you need to develop that relationship with God, so that as soon as you call, God will come to help for you. So it is on you to develop that relationship. So be prepared
Okay.
for
How old is your son,
questions.
Shama?
My son is 11 years old.
11, is it?
11, yeah.
11. Okay, okay. Thanks for the answers, Pradeep
Yeah.
also, and you also.
Prateep kid is of
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
5, right?
Yeah.
5 or 6,
No,
right?
Bhuvi is 6. Bhuvi is 6. Yeah.
6, the same age. Then
Yes.
you guys can discuss then. Thank
Yeah,
you,
you can
Prateep.
consider that that class actually is really good. It's like starting with different forms of like different types of gods, demigods, and everything. It's been only two
Okay.
weeks, and Shyama Mataji
Oh,
is one of the teacher there, so you can consider that. I don't know, 5 years
okay.
maybe too early, but I don't know. But 6 years, I think movie is good age now
From
to
4
start.
itself, the kids are attending puja. So
Oh,
Okay. So did you send the like the link or the details on that group for this one, the kids class?
yeah, I sent it. I will resend it now. Then maybe I will
Okay,
resend.
okay, okay.
Not sure.
Because
Okay.
whenever
I
he
have.
is,
Yeah.
whenever possible, I would want him to just attend one and see whether he's like interested or whether it's too early or like just like see
Oh.
what level he's at to grasp.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Maybe Prateep, if you have that
I have the
message,
link.
can
I
you
can.
post it?
Yeah,
Sure,
I can
post it.
send her. Yeah,
Thank you
sure,
so
sure.
much.
That's like
Yeah, okay,
academic,
thanks,
like year
Pradeep.
long class. Yeah, sure. And I have one more
Oh,
question,
okay.
Mataji. So, quick
Sure.
question. I'm sorry, it's not exactly related to this, but to the today's session. But I have this
Mm-hmm.
question. So in Vedas or Shastras, anywhere is it mentioned like only Earth has any like human living beings, or there are many solar systems, many galaxies, right? So is there any living beings in
No,
any
there
other
are
galaxies?
14 planetary system in total. They are having different like Patala, Sutala under our lower planetary system, and we are in middle, and above also there are heaven and hell. We are saying that, right?
Yeah.
So Devas, Gandharvas, Apsaras, everybody are living on above us, Brahmaloka, Siddhaloka,
Um,
the Jnanis, they are living there.
okay.
We are, as a human, don't have the vision to see it, and we don't trust in God. We don't
Yeah.
trust in our Vedas. So we are trusting the scientific invention. So we are discovering it. As
Okay.
you might saw, like in our last calculation, right? We saw that
Yeah.
uh, time difference between the demigods and us. If you take that
Yes.
and compare it with the scientific invention of the speed of light, you can feel that you can exactly see the difference mentioned in the Vedas, same as
Mhm.
what we our scientists invented. Like one day of their lifespan is here. That difference we are calculating at the the speed of light, and the differences. So yes, Vedas gives
Okay.
the
So
proof
that all
that who are all
constitutes
living there.
one. That's all constitutes one galaxy, or like it's the full universe that constitutes. I just want to know if there are any other human beings or any of the galaxy,
It's not
and
the
so
human being as such. They are like there are different living beings like the Gandharvas, Apsaras, Devas,
okay.
Asuras,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
in that way.
Okay.
And
Okay.
human beings itself, we are like it is not like only one is human being. Human being itself, there are a lot of differences in it.
Yeah.
And in all,
Shama,
it's like the universe. Yep, Pooja.
no, sorry, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you. I just while you were talking about this, I just had one more question.
Okay. I will send you a picture of what are the different lokas.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yes, Pooja.
So when you were explaining just now, is Deva, Ishvara, and God the same thing?
Deva, what is that?
No, you were talking about Devas, right? When you were talking
Mm-hmm.
about the Lokas, you mentioned
Mm-hmm.
Devas, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the word Devas, then the word Ishvara, and the word God, all of them are synonyms, or is there a difference between the three?
Devatas, they will say that as the demigods. Ishvara is the one who is the controller. The Sanskrit term Ishvara is the controller of everything. This Brahma Samhita verse says Ishvara Parama Krishna. So the one who is controller of everything is Krishna. So there are 14 planetary systems, which are 3 levels. As for both of your question, it's say this is our Bhumi, that's Burloka. Below that, there is Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and Patala. There are the lower planetary system. And above that is Bhuvarloka, Swargaloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. So all this consists of one universe. And which all this comes under one Brahma. And if you take this one universe as like one egg or this, inside this we have the 14 planetary system. And if we cross this, there is a river, that is the Viraja river. If we cross that river, then goes the spiritual planet. I will
You have a
send that
picture?
planetary
Okay.
system. Yeah, I will send it.
Okay. So to answer my question, all of them are like when they say in English, when they say God, like it's a little confusing whether they mean devtas or do they mean like
The supreme one. God is in
yeah
English, it is one.
that's what. So there
To
is no
differentiate
English
the
falls
demigods.
short over
Yep.
there, right? In terms of exactly conveying what it has to convey. So that's why I wanted to know what is the distinction. Like I thought Ishvara would be like the supreme one, right?
The supreme controller. And Krishna is, we are saying the one person is the supreme personality of Godhead, like the CEO of the company. He is the head. And then comes all the demigods.
Okay. So then all these forms that we have in terms of like the other forms that we see, different deities and all. So are they demigods or
Are the
are they like
demigods.
demigods?
They are the
Okay.
demigods. Yep.
Okay.
Demigod in the sense they are the different managers appointed by a CEO. This is the picture. I will just post it in the WhatsApp group. You can see it.
Yeah, cannot make out
It's
the
like
details, but yeah.
I'll just post it in the group. So
I have the picture. If you want, I can share.
sure, Prabhuji.
You can share now if you like.
Yeah, share it. It's in my phone. I don't know how to send it via email, then open it here. It would be easy if you're sharing. Yeah, the same picture I shared it there.
Oh. And all of the planets in our solar system, they fall under Bhulokam level or they're below, I think, below or above? Is there all other planets other than the Earth? Like Mercury, Venus.
Yeah, those are in the Bhurloka, earthly planetary system.
Those are on the same level as Earth.
Yeah, so in this Bhurloka, there are many planets like in this. And then Atala also, there are many. Vitala, there are many. All these are like disks. In that, there are many. And they're in the upper planetary. So whenever there is this common statement we sometimes say, there's no one in this three worlds. Okay, so these three world means higher planetary system, middle planetary system, and lower planets. So these are Patal Lok, we say sometimes, right? They have went to Patal, then Pitralok, hellish planets, and below that is hellish planet. Then Rasatal, Mahatal, different level of lower planets are there. And Devatas are here in the Swargaloka. Then there is Marloka, and then there is a abode of Brahma here, Satyaloka. And those who do tapa, they go to Tapaloka. Like that.
Shama and Chintan, Shama, you mentioned that like in that diagram that you showed us, right, wherein you have the gross body, the subtle body, and then finally you have your soul. In that also you had like it was gross and subtle, right? So over here also they use these terms. Does that also correlate to like a human being in that journey, or it is both different?
Pooja, can you repeat the question? Shama, I think I'm not sure if she's there.
Okay, okay. No, in
No,
today's
she's there.
lecture,
Yeah. Mhm.
in today's lecture, I don't know, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so in today's, I can hear some kid's voice.
Oh, let me mute. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So in today's lecture, Shama mentioned about the gross body, subtle body, and then finally the soul, right?
Correct. Yes.
So yeah, the five elements will be the gross, then mind, and I think intelligence, ego will be subtle, and then finally the soul, right? So in this picture that you just shared, also in terms of planets, also we see higher planets and lower planets, and they say higher planets is subtle and lower planets is gross. So does this also correlate to that body structure that she explained?
Uh, yeah, basically in every planet, this is all material universe. As long as you are in this material world, this is also the egg shaped. It is egg shaped. So as long as you are there, you would have mind, body, intelligence traveling with you. You would have your soul with you, but mind, intelligence, and false ego would leave you once you transcend this and go to Golok. And there is one more, I think, a picture shared by her. I'm not sure if that is there. Yeah, there is one more picture that how you transcend here and go to Golok Vrindavan. Then you leave this gross body and material, subtle body here. So yeah,
Okay.
in lower planetary system also you are given a body. You are given a body where you are punished for your sins, whatever you have committed, and that body is given in such a way that even you touch that body, there will be pain 10 times higher. The pain it will be there. So such type of bodies are given in lower planetary systems, hellish planets. Shama, Mataji, if you want to add, you can add.
Yeah, Mataji, it's like the difference between gross and subtle is same what Chintan explained. It's both depends on the perishability. Gross body perishes at the end of every birth, but subtle does not perish and accompanies the casual body and soul. So the soul one which we are talking, it covers the mind, intelligence, or the subtle nature. We
Okay.
can also say that as the stula sarir, that is the gross. It's that physical mortal body which we are having. But if we go in a higher level, you won't have that physical material body. It would be in a subtle level.
Okay.
So in that picture also, that gross body exists downward, and when you are going in the higher planetary system, it doesn't have that perishable bodies. It will be at more at a subtle level, which means it's psycho-spiritual constituents of a living entities.
Okay. No, the question that I was trying to ask is if you look at like anyone's like you spoke of Krishna consciousness or
Mm-hmm.
like a consciousness level, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if like based on whatever I have read, like typically this also it's like a ladder, right? You go from the bottommost to the topmost, something like that, right? So
In
even
the
in the
the
level of
lokas you are
consciousness.
saying,
So
level of
these
consciousness,
lokas,
or yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's what. So level of consciousness, it will be like all your anger, guilt, shame,
Mm-hmm.
pride, all these will be at the bottom. And then love, peace,
Mm-hmm.
joy, all these will be like at the very top, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that like that hierarchy from going from bottommost to topmost, it's almost correlating to these lokas, right? So is there like any correlation or significance that, like from which that is derived from this particular concept? Or I'm trying to understand if it's the same thing. Like,
So say for example, if you have more sort of the quality of love, then you want to know which planet I will end up with, or if I have more sort of jealousy, where you will end up with, like that. Is
yeah,
that your
something
question?
like, yeah. So something, I think it correlates because it's exactly like it, like if I'll forward the level of consciousness map, the
Mm-hmm.
diagram on the group. And in that also, they've made these kind of bands, and it looks like it's almost correlating. Like somewhere middle one will be like the 500, like at Earth planet, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
500 upwards is all the good ones which we want to kind of inculcate in us, right? So it will
Yeah,
be
that's
love,
right.
it will be, yeah, all those. And then the bottom ones which are shown over here is actually all the, like, the demonic quality, so to say, like, which all of us
Yes,
have.
exactly.
So
Yep.
yeah, so it looks like
Based on your how much pious activity and impious activity you do, and
yeah,
on
so
that
as in,
level you will be awarded is one of that planet. And also each planet has their own residence, like how human and we are in the earthly planet. Atala
yeah,
has their own entities, living entities, and who lives in where. It was like a big, not even an hour discussion. It's like it will take like 2 3 hours of discussion, who will live, what quality they are having, why they end up in that loka. It is detailed explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
hmm,
It discusses about the creation and how did Brahma created all the 14 lokas, and who
okay,
are those living in this lokas, and what is their characters and nature. It comes
oh,
in the
okay,
creation of the universe.
acha, okay.
So if you want to more go into the detail, we can have a separate discussion, or I will let you
Hmm,
know where you can get those details.
okay. And it's
Yeah,
very
sure.
this thing that they have written Lord Shiva in that diagram on the left, if I can
Mm-hmm.
see.
Yep.
That is also like I was trying to see what has been mentioned, at the side. I can see Lord Shiva over there, and obviously Vishnu is sleeping there. So okay,
So
this is
it's,
quite an interesting diagram. Thanks for sharing.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Garbhodayakshai Vishnu is lying in the Garbha ocean. From his navel sprout the Brahmaji. So you can see Brahma on the top of the circle. Brahma creates this 14 lokas and he is governing it. And Shiva is not a part of demigod. It's like if we take an example of milk and yogurt, yogurt is derived from milk, but yogurt is not the same level of milk. Similarly, Shiva is one step, one level above the demigods, but he won't fall into the demigods, but he is not also the supreme personality of Godhead.
Okay.
So, as I said, it's like all the details of even who will, everything is given in the Bhagavatam,
Yeah.
which like how the movements of sun will be, orbits will be, what are the different planets, everything. But we cannot complete that in like a matter of 5 or 10 minutes discussion. It
I
Yeah.
just
takes
like to
a
mention
long
one point
time.
to Pooja, I think. So recently, you and I had got to know this. So Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, they're all the same, like at same level. And what I need to know a little more about it. But Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So and yeah, there's no one higher in Lord Shiva, Lord
Mhm.
Vishnu, and Lord Brahma. Those are all at the same level. But
Yeah.
I don't know like more details
In
about it. But like,
Bhagavatam, the complete second canto talks about the cosmic manifestation, which was this process of creation and how this incarnation happened.
Who's
and
written the
how this
Bhagavatam? Like
universe.
how Vyasa has written Bhagavad
Vyasa,
Gita?
yep. Vyasa.
So, oh, Vyasa has only written Bhagavatam also. Sage Vyasa, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you can get it in Veda base, but
Okay.
it's like 2, 3 cantos. The creation of universe, how Brahma manifested, and how did Brahma, like as soon as he came out, he don't know anything. Then how did the creation, like how did he divided it exactly? If you want to say, it's the third canto, 10th chapter. He gives the divisions of the creation. Then comes the time calculation, and there we can see about like how did Lord Shiva appear, what is the difference between Shiva, Brahmas, like Pradeep was telling. You can
Okay.
join our morning call where now we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam daily for 30 minutes.
What time?
We our call is from 5:30 to 7. 5:30 to 6:30 we will chant.
Okay.
6:30 to 7 we will read Srimad Bhagavatam. Like
Okay.
nowadays, like 8 to 9 devotees are joining this.
Okay.
Another Puja, Sona, and Batma Priya from our group, they are joining recently, starting last Monday. They are also
Okay.
So chanting,
joining and
everybody will be
chanting.
on mute on chanting, or like
No,
everybody unmute and
everybody
then
will
chant?
unmute and we
But
will chant.
will they be
Like
on sync?
if we
Sync?
chant alone, we will sleep.
No, no,
No,
no.
but then
Will
you
no.
all
Being
Will,
don't
alone
get
at
an.
no, it's
home, that's
difficult.
why we want
Yeah, there'll
It's
be an
difficult to
echo,
be
right?
in. No, it's difficult to be in
you
sync,
can
right?
lower
That's
the
why.
volume. You can
Okay,
lower
okay,
the volume. So you will hear
okay.
someone is chanting, and if you want, you can sync with the louder one and you can chant. It's like we just want the association and we want someone to be chant with us instead of chanting alone.
Oh, okay. In 1 hour, you'll finish like maybe 10, 8 to 9 rounds in that time,
Yeah.
probably.
And then
Yeah.
half an hour of reading. Like slowly we are making a progress. Like, yep.
So reading, like
And
one
all
person
your
will read one
questions
day.
are very, yeah, one person will read one day.
Okay, okay, got it.
And your questions
Sure.
are all awesome and valid. But as I said, like it's
Yeah.
not a 5 or 10 minutes discussion.
I
It's a
know.
whole
I think you're
topic.
getting late for the
Yeah.
other class. Even I see one more here, Patal Loka. I don't know why it says Pitru Loka next to it. So I'm curious about that also.
Pitraloka?
Yeah, it says Patala and say Pitru Loka next to it. And it says hell. Hell is planet. Is it Pitru Loka or what is it written there? I
Yeah,
think it's
Yeah,
Pitra only.
Pitraloka.
Pitraloka and
yeah, I
hellish
don't know
planets.
why.
Yeah.
Pitru Loka is Patala Loka. I don't know. It's
So I encourage you to join the Bhagavatam reading.
Oh. No, I first had to finish Bhagavad Gita. So for me, still time is there. Yeah. But at least I'm getting new terms and terminology. So that gives me interest
Yeah.
to explore further. So
So
yeah.
your question about only living being here or there, that also comes in the process of creation, divisions of creation, who lives
Oh,
where.
okay. Okay.
And even like Pooja was mentioning, right? The jealousy, peace, love, they are a person's. Brahma create each person, and we can see like from where hatred start, from where who gave birth to jealous, and jealous gave birth to whom, and what are their natures and qualities. So
Okay.
everything, science, math, psychology, history, everything is there in Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
Okay. We will continue joining the session. We will discuss slowly, one at a time. We will take the step and we will reach there, try to understand as much as we can.
Sure. Yeah. So will this session ends with 12 classes or like is there anything continuation for this? Like
It's 12 is Chinta needs to tell for that.
no, I'm just like I want to know like
See, we were
because
supposed to end in 12 session, all 6 topics, but see, even second topic we will not end in 12. So this will go more than 12. I do not know what's the
we
number.
had 5 topics, right? Okay, got it.
6
Okay.
topics we had. We had 6 topics and we promised that each topic will cover in 2 weeks. but looking
Oh,
at
that's
the
good.
speed
Okay.
we are
I
going,
forgot about the 6 topics. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, never mind.
we'll let you know
I
as
think
and when we.
I just have to revise some. Like, yeah.
If you want to like,
Chin,
oh, this is overwhelming, please stop it. Then we will
no, no,
try
no,
to
no.
wrap up
Actually,
quickly.
it's good. I don't want it to be stopped. So that's what I'm asking. Like, is there any continuation for this? So,
Yeah,
yeah.
this will at least go for
And
another
Chintan
6.
Prabhu, every video will be uploaded, right? Either the Saturdays or the Sunday session in the
Correct,
YouTube.
correct.
So
It
that
will
when you
be in
want
our
to,
YouTube.
so either
Yeah.
Sunday or Saturday, correct? So,
Yeah, both videos will be uploaded in our YouTube channel. There is a
oh,
playlist
both.
of Rethink Your Life, and it will be there sequentially uploaded.
Okay. So
If you
until now,
want to
everything is
understand.
uploaded, all videos, all the sessions.
Yeah, all videos are
Okay.
uploaded.
Sure. Okay. That's great. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you
Shyama.
so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Hop on to
Yeah, thank you, Chintan.
for
you. Yeah.
Thank
class.
you. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I think the kids class is going to start.
Oh,
So
yeah,
please.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
leave.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
you.
Thanks a lot.
All.
Yeah.
Welcome class.